Hello, everyone. It is Katie again, and I'm back with another college tennis video. Today, we're going to go over the pros and cons. So, if you haven't seen my video, just giving you a little bit of an intro about what college tennis is like, you should go watch that one first. We also have Toasty still hanging out with us today, so he's going to be loafing around in the background while I go over some pros and cons. So, starting with the pros, if you're someone that wants to play college tennis, it is the best chance for you to continue competing and competing at a high level while you still have the chance to get your degree. It's just almost every match that you play is going to be very competitive. You're going to play such a wide range of people. You're going to get to play so many different game styles. You're going to be playing matches and tournaments and doing drills and practice. And it's just really your best bet to keep competing if you are someone who enjoys the competition and likes playing tournaments and likes to win. Kind of tying into competing, playing college tennis is also one of your best chances to improve and get better and develop your tennis game. So growing up, I think I spent so many hours on a tennis court. So going to college, it's that same thing. You practice pretty much every single day. You have hopefully very knowledgeable coaches. You're playing against really good players. That's one of the best ways to get better. And college tennis can be a little bit different from juniors in just different strategy, shot selection, mental toughness. Doubles is very heavily emphasized in college tennis. So it's a really great way for you to improve your game and just overall become better. One of the biggest, I think, exciting parts about college tennis is that you can get a scholarship to play. So this means that you are pretty much getting paid to play college tennis, and it's going towards you getting your education. And these scholarships can range from maybe just a couple $1,000s all the way up to full rides, where it's covering your room, your board, your tuition, like everything. So for some people, this can be very helpful in them getting their degree, especially if there's like a certain school they want to go to, but it's really expensive. Playing tennis, playing sports is a great way to earn a scholarship. That's going to help you be able to get your education because obviously at some point you will stop playing tennis, but you will still have your degree forever. Being on an athletic team is also just a really good way to learn a lot of really good qualities, and it honestly really helps build your resume and helps you make connections for your future in life. It just opens up so many doors, so many new opportunities for you. You will have the chance to maybe be a team captain. You can develop a lot of different leadership skills, as well as a lot of teams are heavily involved in community service. So you're helping out with the community, you're meeting new people, you're making connections for post grad life. And a lot of jobs really do look for student athletes when they're hiring just because they know that you are typically very determined, you're driven, you're goal oriented, you're a hard worker. And it just really does help make you stand out from everybody else that might be graduating and trying to get a job if you were part of a sports team. And being part of a team as well, it just helps you just build so like makes you so much more well-rounded, and it can really just open so many new windows of opportunities for you as a person. Also, being on a sports team, going to college can be honestly terrifying, especially you might be moving away from home for the first time. You could be going really far away from home. And being on a team kind of helps ensure that you are going to have to meet some people. Making new friends is very scary. But being on a sports team, you're going to have people that you're going to be with almost every single day, every single week. You might all eat together, you might live together. So it's just another helpful way to make new friends and hopefully ease the transition of going into college. I mean, of course, you can also join other organizations and get involved on campus, but it is really helpful to form that bond of a sports team. You go through so many challenges, but also so many successes together. So you really do form that bond, and you can honestly make friends that last a lifetime. So another pro of being a college athlete is you typically have access to a lot of really cool stuff on campus. So typically you have a really nice gym. Some places might have a cool dining hall. You have access to different like trainers, coaches, like athletic training rooms. You can get all different kinds of treatment done. You get access to certain equipment. Again, it depends on your college and kind of like the size and your budget. Like we're a pretty small school, but We got shoes and clothes. We had racket stringing done. Our coach would help us out with rackets if we were looking to get new frames. So you really do get access to a lot of pretty cool stuff if you're on a sports team. And my last pro for you guys today is that it's kind of like a sure way that you're gonna stay fit to some degree and you're gonna keep getting a little bit of exercise and a little bit of sunshine, probably. I think it's very easy to go to college and I don't know, like sleep in until noon, stay up really late, go out. It's fun, it's new, it's exciting. But I also think if you kind of have a lot of free time in college because think about when you go to high school you're typically in class from like 7:30 to almost 3 every day, and it's not how it is in college. You might take like 4 classes a semester that you might be in for a few hours a day. You might have days where you don't even have class in college. So I honestly think it's just something that helps keep you accountable. It helps you develop really good time management skills, and it just kind of keeps you in check. I'm someone who, the more I have to get done, the more I will do. Whereas if I have a lot of time to do like this one minuscule task, I will procrastinate it till the very last minute. So playing a sport is just a really good way that you're moving your body, you're hopefully fueling your body to some degree, and it just kind of keeps you accountable. And it really does help build your time management because sometimes it's like if you don't do that one thing in this little 30-minute window you have, it's not going to get done. So very helpful. Let's get into the cons. I mean, I will say some of these cons, if you are someone who genuinely loves tennis, this isn't going to be as much of a con to you. So starting off with my first one, honestly, I think this is the biggest con of college tennis. It's just really time consuming. Anything that you do pertaining to college tennis, whether it be workouts, practice, traveling, eating, sleeping, which very important, it just takes away from something else. That's time that you're not able to study, do your homework, hang out with friends. Maybe you can't join in on plans because you're traveling that weekend. Maybe you're not able to join like a certain organization because it just requires too much time that you don't have. So that's really the biggest drawback to playing tennis. But I also think that it's what makes it so beautiful in that there's so many different options ranging from like, D1, D2, D3, JUCO, NAIA, stuff like that, because the requirements are a little bit different in what they kind of expect out of a student athlete, which we could definitely get into in another video. But I think there's always a balance in a right school for everybody. But for some people, maybe they would rather just kind of play tennis when they feel like playing tennis, or, they don't want to have to do it at 6 in the morning, or they don't want to have to travel certain weekends. So you just have to keep that in mind, that it is going to be a little bit of a sacrifice in other areas of your life if you do choose to be a college athlete. So my next con is just that tennis can be a very mentally difficult, mentally draining sport, and it just really adds a lot to your plate and it puts a lot of pressure on you. Again, if you've grown up playing tennis, you know the difference between an individual and a team sport. You are the only one out there. You cannot get subbed out if you're having a bad day. And adding all that and the pressure to play on a team versus, individual tournaments, if you lose, okay, you lose, and maybe your parents are kind of mad at you on the car ride home or something. But when you play college tennis, if you're playing in the lineup, your team is expecting you to win your match. You are trying to win for your whole team, for your coaches, for yourself, everything. And that can be a lot of pressure that sometimes people don't handle very well. Some people perform better when they know they're playing for a team. They're able to really step up. But other times it can be really difficult. So just something to keep in mind, kind of adding that on top of trying to keep up with your classes, keep good grades to stay eligible, trying to maybe figure out what you want to do with your career. You're doing so much growing and changing in college. There really is a lot going on that it's important to kind of take care of yourself and make sure you have a little bit of like a mental detox away from tennis. Yes, I know, it sounds scary, but to where you're taking your mind off tennis for at least a little bit here and there, just so that you are locked and loaded when it's time to go. The next con, of course, is that you could get injured. Um, Tennis, especially college tennis, can be very hard on your body with just the volume that you're playing, the matches you're playing, how close together they might be. So if you're really not on top of your kind of like prehab and rehab recovery, you could be very susceptible to injury, and that could result in you, maybe you're not playing, maybe you were, I don't know. It just can be a very difficult thing to deal with if you're used to, playing every day, and then you're on the sidelines, and it could kind of change the path of your college career for the most part. So definitely something to keep in mind, because it could be things that kind of stick with you for like your life after college. So my last con for you, which gets a little deep, a little real, but that's why I'm here. So if you get on a college team, you might not play and you might not get a scholarship. So thinking back to how, college tennis has like a certain amount of lines that play against each other, for singles and for doubles, there is a chance that, the place you went to, you don't get to play. And if that's something you're okay with, then that's totally fine. If you are happy to play and practice, maybe you only get into play for a few matches here and there, and you're happy with that, then that's totally fine and that's great. But a lot of people, obviously, they want to play tennis, and being on the sideline isn't something that's for them. So you have to keep in mind that even though, you make the team, then you got to make the lineup, and it can be tough. There's a lot of factors that go into it. Sometimes you have very slim opportunities to get in the lineup, and then once you do get in the lineup, you have to keep proving yourself and keep winning. So even if you make the team, it could be really hard to, maybe sit back and maybe you're not starting every single match. And with that being said, too, you also might not get a scholarship to play on your team, or you might not get the scholarship that you really wanted or you needed. So, of course, your scholarship can always increase, which is good. So, if your coach maybe starts you at a certain amount and then you have a really good season and you really prove yourself, then your scholarship could go up. So, just something to keep in mind. But again, there's always a college or an institution that I think you can find that will have what you're looking for. But, if your heart is set on like this one certain school and you get there, sometimes everything might not pan out the way you're hoping. All right, guys, I hope that was at least somewhat helpful. Just some of the first pros and cons that I think about when I thought about my experience playing college tennis. I will say, might be a little biased because I willingly chose to do it for 6 years. If you are still on the fence about playing, I always think it's the best idea to just give it a try and start. You can always quit, you can always transfer, you can always do something else if you start and decide that you don't like it. Whereas it's much harder if you decide to go to college and then you try to walk on a team after being away from competitive tennis for that long. So you're still on the fence, maybe give it a try. But I really do think it's very important to just think about finding a college that's going to fit you and your goals the best.